Hey, what's going on, guys? So in this video, I'm going to talk about some of the things that I don't like about Amazon FBA, even though in the last 4 years or so, I've launched successfully 3 different products and made some money with Amazon FBA. But in this video, I'm basically going to talk about some of the things that I don't like about the model. Number one is that, it does require a lot of ongoing effort to maintain the business. You have to continually buy inventory and manage that. And it's not that easy to manipulate the search engine as it is in Google. See, what we do with local lead generation, we have the upper hand because we can manipulate backlinks, content, and how we structure our site. And we can make our site better than the competitor site to rank in Google. With Amazon FBA, it's not that easy to manipulate the ranking. So basically, you need customer reviews, and you can't really fake customer reviews, right? So essentially, you have to get a high quality product from China, and there's a lot of things outside your control there. There's a lot of variables there because you could do your best job to try to vet for the best supplier, but obviously you're supposed to order samples and check for the quality, but you can't, because you don't ever have the property at your warehouse ever, you can't really do quality check. So sometimes if the supplier sends like poor quality products to the customer and the customer receives a defective product, you're going to get a negative review. And if you get too many of those negative reviews, I don't care how good you make the listing. I don't care how all the different things, tips and tricks they taught you in different programs, getting the best pictures, using the best copywriting on your listing, etc. If you ship a bad quality product, you're going to get a negative review. And if enough of those negative reviews stack, then your listing can essentially get ruined, and you don't have an profitable Amazon FBA business anymore. So that's a lot of things outside your control that you count on. And then it would be whatever if it only took a few weeks to set up these listings, but it can take months to set up these listings. I mean, first you have to buy an inventory, which isn't cheap. You're probably going to spend at least $4,000 to $5,000. And then you have to ship it to a Amazon FBA warehouse, which can take a month or two. And all of that initial cost and time investment required just to get a listing up. And so they're just, that's a lot of time and money invested to see whether your product is going to rank or not. And even after you create the listing, you still have to get user reviews. So most likely you're going to have to run some PPC, which stands for pay per click, which is paid advertising campaigns, just to get customers to go to your page and buy your product and hopefully get some customer reviews. Again, that's going to cost you more money, maybe another additional $3,000 to $5,000. So when it's all said and done, just to see if your product can remain consistently profitable, it's going to take like $10,000 to see everything through. And that is to assume that you didn't have any any mishaps along the way. Again, there's just a lot of steps involved. It's not necessarily a very easy business for a beginner to get into. There's just a lot of steps. I would say the difficulty level is far above local lead generation business model. It's probably going to take a lot longer to master the business model because there's just so many steps. Most advanced Amazon FBA sellers say expect to take at least 1.5 years to 2 years before you actually get the hang of it and before you can expect to be like profitable. Which, considering most businesses, that's about right. Most businesses, they say it takes about 2 years to get profitable. And Amazon FBA, I mean, you're competing with the big dogs. Amazon is like the Olympics of e-commerce. I mean, you're competing with suppliers in China. You're competing with big time distributors. That's another reason why I don't like about it. Like, it's not like 5, 6, 7 years ago, where you're only competing with like moms and pops of the world on Amazon FBA. These days, a lot of the Chinese suppliers and distributors, they're also on Amazon FBA. And a lot of times their products, it's almost impossible to compete with because they don't have any middleman like me and you. They can just list their products straight from their factory, and they can compete with much smaller, slimmer margins. So again, I think over time, the profit margin of Amazon FBA business model as a whole is continually going down. And for Amazon, that's what they want, right? They want the prices to go down, because that's a better experience for the buyers, for the people using Amazon, right? Amazon FBA, or Amazon doesn't really care about Amazon FBA sellers. They actually want more competition, because competition is going to provide better quality products at better prices for the buyers, for the shoppers. So yeah, I just think, I mean, I'm not saying that you can't succeed with it. I think the way to succeed with it is like fully commit. You should have at least 20 to 30 grand to go all in. And even then, you still won't be able to take profits out for at least 2 years, because don't expect that having 1 to 2 successful products on Amazon FBA is going to allow you to live a comfortable life, because again, profit margins are going down, and you just never know when a competitor can come in and knock your price out of business. So you want to continually, for the first 2 years, like reinvest the profits back into the business, meaning you want to continually launch new products, and every product you launch isn't necessarily guaranteed to hit all the time. But yeah, it just takes patience, like any business, like I just think with local lead generation, what we teach, I think you can get to 10K a month of net profit much faster. I will say that. But again, like local lead generation might not be for everybody either. Some people might never want to talk to small business owners, or never want to talk to anybody, in which case they want to just sit back, and if they have the money and they have the patience and the time, maybe Amazon FBA is better business for you. You can just sit back, never talk to anybody, deal with suppliers using email, and try to list as many products as you can on Amazon FBA. But I will say it's a pretty daunting business. There's so many steps. I personally did it with a partner, but I still had to learn so much about the business. Yeah, I mean, it's e-commerce is a very competitive business to begin with, let alone being on Amazon, where you can't collect your own email list. You can't create your own real true brand where people will come back to. As you can see, on Amazon, anytime you go to a product page, it lists competitors' products right on each one of the pages, right? So Amazon has no interest in building your own business. I mean, Amazon is putting you up against, in a really competitive arena, against a whole bunch of other sellers on there. So yeah, just be wary. I mean, it is a grueling battle. You have to compete. You have to source superior products. It's really difficult to have a competitive advantage, and also Amazon themselves, they also have a private label brand now called Amazon Basics, which they themselves give their products an unfair advantage in the rankings. So it's very difficult to compete with that. I mean, you can just Google Amazon Basics complaints on Google, and you'll see a bunch of people on Quora and different Reddit and different places where their Amazon FBA business was taken out overnight because Amazon Basics came in and outpriced them out of the market. So again, it's really competitive. I mean, Chinese suppliers. So as a mom and pop, it's difficult to have a competitive advantage. Maybe if you have some special connections in China with certain suppliers to get a unique product, maybe even what they teach you is bundling different products with other products to create a unique offer that makes you stand out. But even then, other competitors can come in and copy what you just did. So I will say this, though. If you do a successful job at creating a brand, what's cool about Amazon FBA is there is an opportunity to sell that brand for a pretty big exit. You're talking, 3 years worth of revenue in one shot, you know. So there are massive success stories out there of people selling private label brand that they created on Amazon and selling it for, you know, few million, you know, on an exit. So that's really cool. But yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of effort to get there. I'm not saying every business should be easy, but I just find that if you're somebody that's stuck at a 9 to 5, you have limited resources, limited money and budget, but you want to like leave your 9 to 5 as quickly as possible. I just think Amazon FBA businesses is like pretty tough because of how expensive each product is to like try. So for that individual, and you're not afraid to like just get your hands dirty and like go talk to business owners a little bit, then I would recommend probably local lead generation is probably a better business model for you. So if you're interested in that, I have a link in the description. We have a coaching program of over 7,000 students. We're one of the most successful online coaching programs out there when it comes to teaching people a skill that allows them to quit their 9 to 5. So if you're interested, see you on the next page.